Ahoy! I'm Stuart Proctor, and I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Sailing Center, where sailing is for everyone. On this April 4th, I promised everybody that we would be having a member event, and I would be doing a State of the Union, and we'd be having a all-member kind of get-together, but unfortunately we can't get together. So I'm here in the Eastport Pram in my backyard. We're here quarantined, and I'm going to do my best to share with you what the DSC is doing during this time, what we are doing to move forward, and to share with you some exciting opportunities that we have ahead. So I'm doing the best that I can with the technology I have, and I thank you for bearing with me and for following along. Before I move any further, I just want to say that my heart goes out to those who have lost loved ones during this COVID-19 crisis. For those who have lost loved ones, I really give my sincere sympathies and my condolences to you and your family. For those who are fighting the crisis and the coronavirus, I encourage you to stay strong and stay positive. You will get through this, and believe in yourself, and let those who love you support you, even if they can't be there with you. And for those who have experienced job loss or are really having a hard time through this financial crisis that is happening all around us at this moment, I just ask for you to keep your head up. We will get through this together. And I do want you to know that even though I am asking for money during this State of the Union address and video, I don't want you to give if you're in dire financial straits. The DSC will get your support in the future, and I trust that you will remain a part of our community and that we will get through this together. So stay strong. I know you'll give when you can. I have my computer here, and so I'm following along with some notes, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. One thing I want to talk about is I have been asked a lot, how is the DSC doing? Well, we had a great December, January, and February, and we were having a very good month of March, all along budget projections, until March 13th, Friday the 13th, when we ceased to take in any revenue from membership or from events. We postponed all of our events through May 10th, and we also stopped encouraging new member signups, although we got a couple of more during that week of March 13th through the 18th. The reality is that through this crisis, if we continue through the end of May into June, we're likely to lose about $70,000 in revenue, but we are also not paying out in terms of staff for lessons, and we are really doing what we can to tighten our fiscal spending. So we've stopped all discretionary spending at the moment, and we're really living leaner than we normally do. Fortunately, one thing that we had going for us, which was better than expected on budget, was we had a really excellent junior camp sign up. So for the junior campers who are watching this video, thank you so much for believing in the DSC and for signing up early. Your dollars in early helped us stay on track for this seasonal launch. We are also in the middle of our Keep Our Ship on Course fundraiser, and that fund drive is nearly one-tenth of the way through. So we're on day 4, and we have just under $5,000 raised out of our $50,000 target. So for those who have donated, thank you so much for your donation. And for those who are able to give, I do encourage you to give to the Keep Our Ship on Course fund drive. A couple other things we've been doing to stay on track. As I said, we've ceased all non-essential spending, and we are also using this time to get Graham and Rena, our new full-time employees, on track and onboarded. So you will see emails from them if you have not already. Graham is coming aboard as our office and administrative manager. He is excellent, and I've worked very closely with him for the last 2 years, with him serving as the keelboat coordinator. Pretty much all success is due to him. And also bringing on Rena Kazmierski, who many of you know and love through the accessibility program. She's been a volunteer with us for 15 years, and she was involved with the SIT program for 3 summers. She is a hoot, and she is coming aboard as our sailing education manager. Both of those individuals have already done excellent work as part-time employees coming aboard during this transition. We scrambled to get all of our boats back from Young's Yacht Yard. Many of you made that trip, which was epic. We had to pull all of our boats out of the yard as quickly as possible, and they were instrumental in getting those boats back to the DSC. So all the boats are at the DSC. We've halted all spending at the moment, and we're really just trying to move forward with the team we have to make sure that when we launch our summer programming, we are up and at capacity and able to serve our sailors to the best of our ability and giving people the absolute best experience that they deserve. John, Rena, Graham, and I are all working from home. So believe it or not, I'm not typically in the boat. I'm typically at my home office typing away. And Rena and Graham are getting familiarized with the website and with the processes. John is moving at the moment, as did Graham, back to Baltimore. And John is also working on the day fleet boats when possible. Now, the DSC is, through the BMI, under the pavilion, is a COVID-19 test clinic. So if you are experiencing symptoms of COVID-19, call your healthcare provider. And if your provider is MedStar Health, you may be asked to go to the pavilion to get tested. So that is a testing facility. As the DSC offices remain closed and the boats remain off limits during the executive order, it's not a huge problem, but is a huge opportunity for those who are sick and hurting. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and also to give a shout out to the BMI, who generously provided the pavilion for use by MedStar. We have some really great new board members. So really briefly, I want to introduce all the board members. Continuing as a board member, but new as the board president, we have Chris Rossi, and I think that he will be giving an address pretty soon. We also have continuing board members. I want to make sure I look at my notes so I don't forget anybody, but Alan Dunklow, Victoria Spiegelman, Jim Tekadena, Will Harrington, Matt Lynn, Rob Law, and Lynn Handy. Matt has been spearheading the board development committee, and he's been doing an excellent job. Lynn has been very active in her role as secretary, and Rob has continued to assist and provide excellent guidance with the numbers during this trying time. New board members. We have a number of new board members, which include Jamie Barnett, who connected with us through Business Volunteers Maryland. Elizabeth Truong, who is a super active member. Mike McNamara, who's been a longtime racer and avid sailor with us. And new additions, Bill Hamilton and Tony Stevens. Bill joined us as a member 3 years ago and recently got his skipper wing, so we are delighted to have him aboard. And Tony Stevens is a volunteer with us and a crew member, and his sons are actively involved as volunteers and as junior campers as well. So we're delighted to have them. They are all working on many projects, giving me a lot of support, guidance, and we're moving very rapidly during this crisis to both secure funds, apply for grants, apply for loans through this government rollout of the CARES Act, and also to improve the member experience once we do get back on the water. So I think we are really blessed I know we're very blessed to have them on board. The DSC is on the correct track with this board development, and everybody on this team is really providing to the support right now. Now, I want to address a couple of points. I know for some it may seem a bit foolhardy to bring on new staff during this coronavirus epidemic while others are losing their jobs. And I just want to stress that Graham and Rena are already doing excellent work, and they are providing critical resources during this time. We are ramping up so that when we do get back on the water, we can provide you with the excellent and best experience possible. So we appreciate your help in weathering this storm and keeping moving on track, even as we experience this tumultuous time that we're living in. Last year was very challenging for me and challenging for the team. We operated on a team of 3, and me being new to the role, I had a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. But one of the things I want to impart with you is that Graham and Rena are they're people that I dreamed about working with, not necessarily just them, but the talents they provide. I spent a lot of sleepless nights last year trying to get through the DSC and learning my new role. And they have just, when they applied, we had some really phenomenal candidates who applied for the position. And even though I tried not to like them, they really rose to the top in terms of their attributes. And I know that they can work with the DSC. They love this place. They have a passion for the organization and a passion for the people. So I'm excited to welcome them aboard. Now, when we get through this, we will need all the human power we can get. And that's what Graham and Rena are providing in this moment. And they are providing the critical infrastructure through staff support to make sure that we are able to ramp up when we are back on the water and sailing. We are also moving forward with all of our initiatives that we had planned. So even though some things will be a bit delayed, we are moving forward with a plan for summer camp. We are moving forward with our plans for the SIT program in some shape and form. We are extremely excited to launch our accessibility program when we get to it, when we can get back on the water. And also we are moving forward with the Siebel Sailors program with Hannah Dickmeyer as our DSC coach. And she will be contacting folks this week since we have a little bit more time on our hands, some of us. And we want to be moving forward with that starting at the end of June. So we are staying quite engaged and very busy in this time. Now, when we do get through this when we do get through this storm, we will need your help. And so we want people to stay engaged, to help each other, to help their loved ones. And if you have the opportunity to give to the Keep Our Ship on Course campaign, we encourage you to do so. But most importantly, we encourage you to connect with friends who you sail with, and to try to make sure that we maintain connections and senses of normalcy during this time. The DSC is a place that we connect across cultural experiences and across backgrounds, and the connections are what bring us together as sailors. Before I leave you, I just want to give you a little testimony about some of the connections and how they have impacted my life and really made a profound impact on me. When I moved to Baltimore in 2011, I knew just a few people and I had no job, and I was lucky enough to come aboard as a sailing instructor and teach sailing. And during my first summer at the DSC, we also had this new sailor, Tasmin Prater, who goes by the name of Taz. And so I was 26, he was, I think, 16 or 17, and he was a new sailor and I was new to Baltimore. He's a skinny black kid, real fit with glasses, from Northeast Baltimore. And the DSC was his first job and his first home. And through it all, through my experience growing up, becoming the sailing education manager, and then I started off as a fleet manager and working on boats and getting my hands dirty, and then coming into the education world, he came right up with me and he became the head instructor. And as I became the program director, he became my right-hand man, right-hand human, and was our head instructor. And we grew together as leaders and grew together learning and exchanging tips and tricks. I got into cycling. I got him into cycling. I got through into a very, a state where I could be self-supportive through the DSC, and as the program manager and then program director. And Taz got through college. He joined the ROTC program through the Navy and graduated at the same time that his mother graduated college. And he is now serving as an officer. He went through nuclear power school and is now serving as an officer in the Navy as a nuclear engineer. Taz and I have very different backgrounds. As you can see, I'm very white. I'm 10 years older than Taz. I grew up in North Carolina, and don't think I would have had the opportunity to develop such a close friendship, a true lasting bond with somebody with a different background, different skin color, different experience to me if it wasn't for the DSC. Now, we have a lot of common passions. We love sailing. I love cycling, and I brought Taz into that. And so we became good cycling buddies through our time together. I love reading, and Taz graduated with a double major in English and in physics. So we shared a lot of books together and we continue to do so even though he's on the West Coast. And through it all, we really helped him. The DSC really helped him grow as a human being and grow as a leader. And he in turn helped us survive some growth challenges as a head instructor. And then when I experienced some personal pain, he was able to become a friend and really lean. I was able to lean on him, and he was able to lean on me during some times of hard times with him. So the DSC provides these connection points that we would not typically otherwise have. There are very few places in the world today where a Democrat and a Republican, where a Jewish person, a Christian person, and an atheist person can all get together on a boat and be elbow to elbow and really celebrating in fellowship. The DSC really celebrates and encourages people to experience the joys and struggles of the human condition through sport. And it's a real passion for all of us. I don't even need to begin to talk about the adaptive sailing program, the accessibility program, which brings sailing opportunities for hundreds of people a year. But the best thing about the accessible program is that the able-bodied sailors who are there to volunteer actually experience so much more fulfillment and joy than the people who are coming down in a wheelchair or coming down with their families or are experiencing challenges through autism or through other developmental or cognitive disabilities, whether they're brought on through birth or through trauma. The reality is that the volunteers receive so much more than the participants that the volunteers are trying to help. And I'm so delighted to get back into the boat this year with the DSC, and I'm excited to go sailing with everybody when we're able to. Now, before I leave you, I'm just going through my notes. I just want to say that we'll get through this. We will, and we'll get through this together. The DSC is a community, and we don't have an endowment. We don't have everything in the world we would want to have in terms of shiny new boats. We have a debt that we're carrying on the BDOC, the marina expansion over on BDOC for our community sailing programs. We don't have a huge savings account, but we do have a phenomenal community, and we have the best community in the country when it comes to sailing. I want to leave you with the thought that the DSC, I've been through a lot of community sailing centers in terms of connecting with them, and there's no other place in the country that has the diversity, the breadth of programming, or the interconnectivity between people across programs that the DSC has. We have the best community in the country, hands down. And I would not want to be anywhere else in the world right now than here in Baltimore and as part of the DSC. We have a long way to go. We are not as diverse as we should be and that we will be. We are not as equitable as we should be or will be. We don't have the number of women sailors that we desire. We don't have the number of people of color as skippers or even as crew members that we desire or that we deserve or that the community deserves. But we will get there through your help, with your help, and with your continued support. So with that, I wish you adieu. I wish you fair winds and following seas, and I really look forward to sailing with you again soon. We are working from home Monday through Friday, and we will continue to connect with you to the best of our ability. I think you're going to see some really great improvements in communication with Graham and Rena. They're really phenomenal additions to the team, and I cannot wait to be on the water again with you. So without anything else, Stuart Proctor signing off. Cheers.